Then comes the wholesalers. Then you have the middlemen, the agents, the brokers, product to the customer, because customer will not buy in bulk, he'll buy only in units. Now what happens is the retailer, what is that he should do? He should only maintain a cordial relationship with the wholesaler. So everything is readily available to the retailers. Now the retailers don't need to go to the manufacturers and find. The retailer will go back to the wholesaler and give the product. Now the wholesaler is okay with accepting the. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Business Studies in Vidhyaashram PUC College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the new session of the 10th chapter, and it's all about the internal trade. Now I told you what exactly internal trade is. We learned about wholesaler, and then we also learned about the services given by the wholesaler. That is, the wholesaler gives services to the manufacturer, and now we have the second one, that is the wholesaler gives services to the retailer. That is services to retailer. Now what here really happens is, as a wholesaler, actually I'll denote that as W, the retailer as R, and manufacturer as M. So please understand this logic here. The manufacturer manufactures all the product only for the customer. Now let's go with the C is for the customer. But the manufacturer cannot give the product to the customer, because customer will not buy in bulk, he'll buy only in units. So here what happens is, the manufacturer will actually sell those things to the wholesaler, because wholesaler is a person who's gonna buy the product in bulk. Then what happens is, the wholesaler can give it to the consumer, but all the consumers will not go to the wholesaler. So what happens is, there is a person called retailer. Now this retailer is a person who buy small quantities from the wholesalers, and here what happens is, he is the one who actually sells to the final consumer. So consumers usually go to the retailer and not to the wholesaler. Majority, say 85 to 95% people only go with retailer. But here what actually happens here is, the manufacturers will actually give the bulk products, goods to the wholesaler. Some of the retailers are there who actually buy from the manufacturers directly. Right? Now try to understand this combination, and then I'll explain you about the services. The first one is availability of goods. Now the services given by the wholesaler to the retailer, that is wholesaler to the retailer, is, now the first one is availability of goods. That means continuity is there, maintained. That is, wholesaler will give the products to the retailer. Marketing support, that how to market the product and how to market the things. He'll actually help the retailer to set a market. Grant of credit. Now the small retailer will not have enough money to buy those products from the wholesaler. Now the wholesaler visualize that some or the other day the retailer will sell the product and give you the money. So what happens is, he gives him something called credit. Specialized knowledge. Now the wholesaler knows the entire market about how the manufacturer manufactures the product, what are the products which are being manufactured, and what all can actually make a more profit zone. So here the wholesaler will be an advisor to the retailer. And the last one is risk sharing. See, whatever it is, students, you need to know that a person whoever shares a risk is a person who gives a service. So you should always remember those people who are there when you are in a difficult phase rather than in a happy phase. So what the wholesaler does is, when he's giving everything for credit, he'll also share the risk. That means, if the retailer will not sell all the products, the wholesaler will take those products. The reason is, he knows that the manufacturer will also take all the products back if it is not sold in the market. Now these are the things which are the services to the retailer by the wholesaler. Let's go with one by one. Now try to understand with this example. Now we have somebody called the wholesaler. Now wholesaler will give the product to the retailer. The retailer will actually find the consumer. So this is what happens. Now what is that wholesaler will do is, that is continuity is there. Continuity. Now what type of continuity is there? Retailer have to maintain adequate stock. The first thing is the retailer need to maintain adequate stock of varied commodities, of the different commodities, so that they can offer variety of their customers. So that is what it is. That is, you need to actually see, you can't have only one type of a product and you can't wish all the customers will come and buy your product. So you should always go with adequate stock. The wholesaler make the product of various manufacturers readily available to the retailers. Now the retailers don't need to go to the manufacturers and find what is that they are doing. They should directly go to whom? To the wholesaler, and the wholesaler will tell which are the products and what exactly the market value is all about. This readily available to the retailer. So this relieves the retailer of the work of collecting goods from several producers and keeping big inventory of the same. So here he'll help the retailer to know what are the products which are in the market, and that too they are in demand. So that is why if you have a very good rapport with the wholesaler, if you have a very good things with the wholesaler, what really happens is the wholesaler will give you everything ready and set. Marketing support. Now here what happens when it comes to the marketing support, please remember the marketing support which the wholesaler gives it to the manufacturer. The same way here also he gives it to the retailer. The wholesaler performs various marketing functions and provides support to the retailer. They undertake the advertisement and other sales promotion activity to induce customers to purchase the goods. The retailer are benefited as it helps them to increase the demand and various new product. That means here you need to understand there should be something called demand and supply. Demand and supply. Now the entire market depends on demand and supply. If demand is more, I'll tell you, if demand is more, now what happens is the supply will be less. The supply will be less. But supply is more, then what happens is demand is less. So this is what it is. Now in the economics also you would have learned about demand and supply. Here the wholesaler is giving the supply at a right time, and he is setting a market trend, that is he wants the customer to know what are the product is, and that what happens is the retailer will enjoy without doing anything. Now it is a wholesaler who will invest in the marketing also. Retailer shouldn't do anything. Retailer should only start with his shop and he should sit in the shop. Whatever the customers come and ask, he should only give it. That is what a retailer should do. See, the product is manufactured by the manufacturer. The wholesaler will set the entire thing. He is a person who gives all the products in a bulk. Now what happens is the retailer, what is that he should do? He should only maintain a cordial relationship with the wholesaler. So everything is done. So that is what the services a wholesaler is giving. Grant of credit. Grant of credit. Now I'll give you an example here with the same kind of an example what I gave in the second session. Now try to understand. For one bottle, okay, bottle of water, let's go with one bottle of water, and it has 500 ml. Okay, a company go with total cost plus profit is equal to selling price. So you know this formula. What is the total cost plus profit is equal to selling price? When a manufacturing company they calculate it. To manufacture a bottle, that is a 500 ml water bottle with a mineral water bottle, it costs 4 rupees, and they are selling it to the wholesaler for 5 rupees. They are selling it to the wholesaler for 5 rupees. Let's go with this. The same thing, this is for the wholesaler. Okay. And what is the profit? He's actually won only 1 rupee. 1 rupee has a profit. But whereas the wholesaler is selling the bottle for 6 rupees. For how much? 6 rupees. Or say 7 rupees. Now without doing anything, only by selling, he is making 1 rupee or 2 rupees profit. Whereas the retailer, so what is the 500 ml bottle cost? It is 10 rupees is what the MRP is, the MRP. Now retailer will collect the MRP. Now that is say 10 rupees. Now without doing anything, that person is actually getting 10 rupees in the sense the wholesaler is selling it for 7 rupees. So that retailer is getting 3 rupees without doing anything. See, marketing is done by the wholesaler. Everything is done. Now the thing is, there is one more condition. The retailer will tell, boss, I'll only give you the amount after the sales will happen. Now what is it? Only when sales will happen. So what it? He will take 3 rupees and then he will give the remaining amount. So that is one condition where he grants credit. One more is, now retailer will not have money. The retailer will go to the wholesaler, ask the wholesaler that I really don't have money right now, but after I sell all those products, then I'll come and pay you. Now the wholesaler is also happy with it. He will give the things because he knows some or the other day that product will be sold and then he will get the money and later he will give the credit. Now understand, the wholesaler generally extend credit facility to their regular customers. When I say customers, it is the retailer. Okay, this enables the retailers to manage their business with relatively small amount of working capital. So that is what happens here. Now see, both the ways, if you understand, if the manufacturer is getting only 5 rupees, right? But what is that maximum retail price? See, maximum retail in the sense retailer. Maximum retail price is how much? 10 rupees. So without doing anything, the wholesaler and the retailer are actually making money. But the real person who is incurring so much and he's getting only 1 rupee profit is who? The manufacturer. If you understand, students, more than the manufacturers, retailers are more. Wholesalers are more. More than wholesalers, retailers are more. If you just compare the real statistics, I'll tell you, first is the retailers who are like abundant. Then comes the wholesalers. Then you have the middlemen, the agents, the brokers, right? And then you have the manufacturers. Specialized knowledge, that is what the benefit, what the wholesaler will actually give it to the retailer. The wholesaler specialize in one line of product and know the pulse of the market. So to know the pulse of the market, one should actually know what is the market is all about, right? That means there are two things. One is what's happening in the market, so you should have a proper research and then you should have a proper survey. Now when you have all these things, now what happens is they pass on the benefit of their specialized knowledge to the retailer. So whenever a retailer will come and take any product from the wholesaler will tell that what the customer wants, what is the market trend, what is the new product which gonna come in the market, which is the manufacturing company, everything will actually be told to the retailer. Now the retailer will also be very curious. Now the new product, whenever it comes to the market, there are two possibilities. One is the product will be successful, another is the product will be failure. Now what happens is the wholesaler knows the entire product line. He will tell the retailer that to go and purchase these kind of product and then it will benefit you. Now say example, I'll tell you the retailer, right? Water bottle, mineral water bottle. There are n number of companies, right? If you go with the branded one, people will only go with the branded one. So any good company with a new product, the wholesaler will communicate it to the retailer saying that the product is coming from a branded company, please go and buy it, or please buy from me. That is what the wholesaler will actually tell. That is what the specialized knowledge. They inform the retailer about new products, their uses, quality, prices, etc. Because wholesaler will act like a bridge between the manufacturer and the retailer. So the retailer will not know what is going to happen in the market, but the wholesaler will be very much in contact with the manufacturer and he has a position over that. So what happens is he will start revealing what is the reality. Next one is risk sharing. The last one here is risk sharing. Please understand this concept. The business is divided. The business is divided into two kind of things. One is there is 100% uncertainty. And business has something called risk. When you understand risk, risk are two types. One is avoidable. One more is unavoidable. Now the wholesaler purchases in bulk, that is what the wholesaler does, and sell in relatively small quantities to the retailer. So the retailer will only buy small quantity. Being able to manage with purchase of merchandise in smaller quantities, retailers are in a position to avoid the risk of storage. Now what happens is they don't have storage, that is warehouse godown, right? Are in a position to avoid the risk of storage, pilferage, obsolescence, reduction in prices and demand fluctuation in respect of the additional goods that they would have to purchase in case of services of wholesaler are not available. Now try to understand this. What are the things? First, the retailer, he should actually have a storage. Now if you don't have a storage, what he can do it is, the wholesaler gives all the quantity in a relatively small quantities. So on a regular basis. So there is no problem of any kind of shortage. So that is what the wholesaler will give. So wholesaler will tell, yes, I have a warehouse, I have a godown, I'll keep all the product for you. Whenever you want, you come and buy it. Whenever you want, you come and get those and then place it in your company or place it in your retail shop. Now here what happens is, the additional goods, whenever it is required, the wholesaler will guarantee that the product will come to their doorstep. One more thing is, if the price of that particular product is going up, it is the wholesaler who will tell that now it is going up, you are supposed to hold it. If the price is going less, now the wholesaler will tell you are supposed to sell it. Now again, what happens is he is sharing the risk. And if the product is not sold, what will happen is the retailer will go back to the wholesaler and give the product. Now the wholesaler is okay with accepting the product whichever has not been sold. So that is what, again, the risk is shared by whom? By the wholesaler. So these are the services which a wholesaler gives to the retailer. Students, if you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Now please go back to the session, revise the session. What is that you should do is, at least in this new year, you are supposed to study so that your parents as well as your faculties will feel so proud of you, because even in this pandemic, Vidhyaashram is doing everything for you people and for the entire country. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you. Thank you.